So has anyone from this group, anyone has started with LeanIX, or this is the first time that you all are trying to implement it?
Hey, I have started actually. I want to be go for train now.
Okay. Now, if you could see, you would be seeing this BTP sort of diagram that you might have seen, like when BTP person, when they talk about their area. But however, this is not for this Linux template, but I use this template for Linux as well. So this is just a BTP platform, like how it looks like. And upon that, the main important point to observe over here, that end-to-end business process, you could see this arc over here, end-to-end business processes, and everything that you see that happens under a BTP, that's beneath end-to-end business process. So this tells us that how important is to be aware of what all end-to-end business processes that we have in our organization, you know, and beneath that we would be having a multiple component to manage our entire business area, or the infrastructure area, all the respective area that supports our entire objective of achieving the goal that the organization has. I just wanted to highlight these end-to-end business processes, like why it's important, because everything that you see, the solution that BTP is providing right now, all are under beneath end-to-end business process. So just keep this thing in a mind for now. Now SAP has introduced Rise with SAP methodology, and this is purely for them to, they're asking customer if they want to do a digital transformation, or if they want to set up a clean core environment, the ecosystem of a
Sanjay,
SAP. They
Sanjay,
have, yeah.
Sanjay, sorry to interject. I am a RISE architect. So what I would suggest is, can you
Hmm.
go ahead and show us where forget RISE and these explanations. Can you explain LeanIX to us? This story, right? We already understand. Most of us, I'm 100% sure most of us are SAP consultants here. We understand the entire. Yes, please explain us this part. Thanks.
Okay, sure. Then I believe like you might have also aware of this Signavio as a how the Signavio integration happens with the Linux. I'm pretty sure that you are aware of this.
You have to explain from here. This is what we want.
Okay. Okay, so this is where I was coming. Okay, so this you are aware of. Now, if again coming back to the same screenshot, if you see, we have a three component over here. One is a Linux, the middle one is a Signavio, and the third one is a cloud. This is solution design. That is for the cloud ALM. I know like the text is not so visible over here.
Hmm.
Now, if you see under a Linux, what they say, the solution business, the roadmap, architecture, and strategy. And this is sort of like, if you see, it keeps on refreshing, not on a like very frequently. Definitely, it takes time to refresh the entire landscape, but it's kind of has a integration, or I would say a deep kind of a handshake with the Signavio along with the Cloud LM. Now, under the Rise with SAP, what they are saying, to achieve a digital transformation of the clean core ecosystem, along with the Linux, we also have a Signavio, which maintains our business capability, all the details of process mining, the data mining, and then we also have a Cloud LM. Under Linux, it's completely on the portfolio management. Your architecture, your landscape designing, everything happens under Linux, where you would be knowing the entire portfolio of your organization. However,
Hmm.
there would be some area where you need to have some information from different area, for example, the business area. So it's not only about maintaining your IT landscape or the infrastructure landscape. You also need to have information where like the platform that you're implementing in your organization, what is the objective of having those platform, why we are like having those platform, which business are we supporting over there. Now to have those information, we have a handshake over here with the Signavio. And this is the second one is the processes, where we kind of design and enhance, analyze, and enable. In between we have our people, where definitely it would be a business team or the functional team, all the respective uh, team members. And then we have a solution design over here, where you could see that deploy, test, build, and design. Now, for each this platform, they have their different approach of achieving their objective. But why we have this three over here? Reason being, if you want to know for your in your organization what all business capability you got, now how
Hmm.
you are supporting your business capability, you need to design a architecture level information where you would see a relationship between a process and all the respective support that it gets from a different area. For example, what are the IT service that you use to support your business, what are the application that you use for to support your business, and all the external services that you use for your business. I'm just giving an example. So those information you will be getting from the Signavio, and all those information you will be building in your LeanIX platform. And that's how like it becomes a dependency between I would say a handshake between a LeanIX and a Signavio. Now, when it comes to the cloud ALM, why we have a cloud ALM over here? Now, if you consider a migration project, when
Mm-hmm.
you are in a phase of project lifecycle, you would be needing information about your application or the processes, the solution that we design in our processes, and all the respective application that we use. For example, if you want to you want to know about the interfaces that we use in a given process, and what are the like how the data flows, how what all the interfaces that we use. I'm just taking an example over here. So
Hmm.
you won't be getting all this information. Like either you can definitely design everything over here in a cloud LM, or else if you're building a Linux information, if you're building all the information on a Linux along with the Signavio, so all together you can have all this information pushed to your cloud ALM as well.
So
We
there is
also
an integration between Signavio and ALM, but is there an integration between ALM and LeanIX as well?
yes, we have a like business context is one of the area, one of the meta model where we utilize a Signavio information. So we got various fact sheet when it comes to the Linux. I will show you. So we got a different fact sheet to build in a Linux. So in that, one of the fact sheet that we got is the business context. Over there, most of the information like you will be getting from the Signavio side.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
So I hope this is clear, like why we have all these three platform given over here to optimize our transformation. Is basically like we are moving everything on a cloud, and now we need to have a repository sort of thing with along with all the like reports or the analysis that we want to do, but everything has to be there on a cloud. And if you want to create a one single repository where you want to have all the information, that's how like we are managing our Linux, we are managing our Signavio, and we also have a cloud ALM. And I'm pretty sure that you would be knowing it's the alternate of a solution manager. Before we were having a solution manager, now we got into the cloud ALM. Soon our solution manager gonna decommission in next couple of years, or
Hmm.
till the like SAP wants to have. So as you asked, like why we have how the Signavio interact with the Linux.
Hmm.
So this is just one simple screenshot which talks about on a Signavio side, it's a business process management, and on Linux side is the enterprise architecture. So how this handshake happens from the Signavio side, we have a process improvements aligning with the existing and the future architecture, and accelerate root cause analysis with the transparency on the business process and the IT landscape. So what basically happens when you start mapping your entire end-to-end business processes for each LOBs or for the respective uh, area, the services that we have, all the different value chain that we have under each value chain area. Once you start building your process, once you start defining your processes, you would be also designing, you would be also like capturing the information about the application that we use for each process. Now it's the same thing when you want to have an architectural level of information. That's where the handshake happens, where Signavio would be sharing the information, where we would say like what all if you want to know what all business capabilities that we got in our organization, that's where you would be using or utilizing the Signavio, or the vice versa. If someone has also built, if someone has already built a LeanIX platform, all got all the information on the LeanIX, then the same thing will be shared with the Signavio so that they can start uh, performing their process mining or the data mining, whatever the capability that Signavio has. So basically, this is what the handshake is all talk about over here. Now, if someone wants to understand, like, sorry, someone has any question? Okay.
Sanjay
Now,
here again.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So from LeanIX perspective, the capability model, which is based on maybe on your application portfolio or technical portfolio, application portfolio, let's say you have capability model build. So associated with that, you have corresponding business processes to each of these capability models. So is that some information is integrated with Signavio, or it's a standalone? You just take a dump from, or maybe some download from LeanIX on capability model, and then you give this input manually to Signavio. How this business process mapping, mining, modeling works in Signavio?
If you are looking for a business process mapping happens in a Signavio, so there's, as I mentioned, if you already got all the information on LeanIX as a form of business capabilities, then you would be using those information. You would be
Is it automated
utilizing.
or manually?
It's manually.
Okay.
First
Okay.
thing, when you're building your LeanIX, for example, you don't have a Signavio right now, and you have started with the LeanIX. Then all your fact sheet, all your business capability, you have to build it manually. However, if you are going, because SAP has also provided a best practices or accelerator, and if you're aware of all line of business end-to-end process, or even your value chain, I would say the value chain, because everything would be there under your value chain from level 1 to level 4. And if you have defined everything under your LeanIX, then definitely you would be like helping your Signavio team over there. And that happens manually.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now, just for the information, you on a left side, we have got a Signavio, and the right side, we got a LeanIX. Now, if you see from the Signavio side, we got people, processes, capabilities, and definitely what all applications supporting to our people, process, and the capabilities over here. What are the data model that we got to support our process or the capabilities and the technology? Or it's a vice versa. So business process management, how our business process management gets a help from our, I would say, IT infrastructure area, or how are IT infrastructure being utilized for which business model, or for which business process management. That's that's the main concept over here, like why exactly we are using LeanIX over here. You know, so that we would be in a sync with the process management along with our entire infrastructure area over here, the enterprise structure that we got. So everything will be in a sync. We won't be having a multiple version of information across our business unit or the cost center. We will be maintaining a one single information across the platform. And above, this one more tool that we got is a cloud ALM. And that's how even the cloud ALM gonna get all the respective information. As I mentioned, for example, if you are under a SIT and you want to know like what are the interfaces you would be having for the particular solution, process solution. So the LeanIX is the best part to know all the interface level information, and the Signavio is for the process solution diagram.
See,
Any question on this part?
so
Yeah.
interface level or integration level information, I can maintain it in ALM as well. So I don't see a reason to have LeanIX there, right? So LeanIX should be something more than that, correct, Sanjay? It's not just interface level information.
No, I'm just giving you the example. Now, If you purely talk about the LeanIX, now if I have to say that you got a 5 application in your organization that supports
Hmm.
your business, one of the business, and you also got some external services or the external platform to support your business. Now,
Hmm.
if I want to know how my infrastructure, the IT infrastructure, is being utilized to support my business, the cost that we have implemented,
Hmm.
the cost that we have put to use all this platform, are they really like worth of supporting our business? How much the utilization is happening? And it's kind of like I would say the ROI. Yeah, you can even able to figure out what is the ROI of using that particular platform to support our business, and what are the like percentage of usage that we do for that particular platform.
Yeah,
So,
apart from usage dashboard, so if I can
mhm,
give my target usage and also my and identify how much I'm actually utilizing. Now, on the utilization factor, every application, right, has a different way of utilization, right? Factoring its utilization. Like SAP is based on
right.
stack, that is FUE,
Mm-hmm,
user
mm-hmm,
equivalents. And some cloud-based application, they are based on usage per transaction. How
mm-hmm.
is that we can track that in LeanIX? Is there any integration or is there some data that I can extract? How is that being done?
You would be maintaining all this information in your LeanIX fact sheet.
Okay, it is just like a fact sheet. I need to manually maintain that.
Yes,
And how
I
do
am
I know
on
the,
like this.
yeah.
Sorry, it's got refreshed. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
So now how do I know the actuals? Like, is there a way that I can know the actuals in an automated way? So for
No,
example, I took
yeah,
a
I
license.
got your point. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got your point. Yet,
Mm,
how would you would be knowing all this information, even a bit of
mm,
piece of information for each platform, or the you take any application that you're using to support your business,
mm.
So that's the where the like challenge is. You won't be having everything, and there's no integration where it's gonna provide you all this information to you. So far, like I have not seen, or like I have not matured enough where I'll be using an API to collaborate with the other platform and to get all this information.
So
So
the
that
APIs
part,
are APIs available?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that API part. That's what like I'm not matured enough on a Linux where I can
Mm,
think of using a API if any capabilities of API given by or any adapter given by a SAP
LeanIX.
to integrate
Mm.
with the Linux.
Yes,
Reason being,
for your point, there is a CIA is available for the the integration between this Signavio to LeanIX to other on-premise or else like hybrid cloud versions.
Dilip, can you repeat
that's
that?
for the
What exactly
Signavio.
is that?
Sorry, Signavio. It's not Signavio. It's LeanIX. You are maintaining the data, right? So which you can automate that using the integration things. Okay. So whatever
What
the
is that
things
integration layer called?
for CIA,
It is called
CIA,
as CI.
CIA.
No. What is
Okay,
that?
cloud
Can you explain that
cloud
abbreviation for me?
cloud integration analytics. Okay.
Cloud integration analytics.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So using that, you can go ahead like so wherever your box will be reside, so you can go for integrate with that. So whatever the connections will be available, so that data will be there in that. So using that code, so you can integrate with this LeanIX. That is as per SAP recommendation.
Okay, okay, thanks, thanks. Sanjay, please continue. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that information. So the current project that I am managing right now, where we did an
Mm,
integration between the Signavio and the Cloud LM, but not with the Linux. So that's why, like, I have not even matured enough on a Linux part, to have this integration happen. So what you see over here, it's a instance of a Linux. Is the first page. This is a dashboard page. This is what like when once you log in with your credential, you will land up on this particular dashboard page. You will see
mm,
all your work, that whatever the work you have done, all the information will be reflecting over here. Now, right now, if you ask me what exactly I'm doing in my current project, I'm working on an inventory,
mm,
because once I have all my inventory done, definitely like report and diagram and the collaboration is simple, straightforward, where you would be generating your reports, you would be designing your diagram based on your requirement, what exactly we want to show to our uh, business team or the management,
Mm,
and the
mm,
collaboration. So under inventory, if you see, these are the fact sheet. We call this as a fact sheet.
mm.
Now we have an objective, we got a platform, we got an initiative, business capability, business context. This is where the listing nav helps. Your organization, application, interface, data objects, IT components, provider, and the tech category. Every fact sheet has its own sort of definition. But this is where exactly like if someone is working on a Linux, they have to start creating a fact sheet on this categories.
Okay.
Okay. So
Can you show us one of the fact sheets?
Like a spreadsheet, you mean to say like SAP system details like SIDs and IP address, or which
Mm,
systems it was based on like that? We need to maintain that sheet.
now if I have to explain this fact sheet in a simple term, now
mm,
suppose you have a process called P2P. Now assume that P2P becomes your business capability, and definitely P2P like means you have a value chain where under a supply chain you got a
Yeah.
P2P. For example, for the finance you
Process
got a
models,
P2P.
process
Yeah,
models, job
process
treatments.
model.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah, so level 1, level 2, level 3. That's how your. Just give me a second. Now my battery is gonna dry, so I'll just get my charger. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, so what I was explaining about a one process, simple process. Now, yeah, if you assume you can hear me, right?
yes, Sanjay.
Yeah. Now assume you got a P2P, and definitely you will be having a level of information under your value chain, where your value 1 would be the supply chain or the any unit, and then below that you would be having a supply chain, and then level 3 would be your P2P, and under P2P you got a different sub end-to-end sub processes which manage your P2P entire P2P operation. Okay. Now all the end-to-end process that comes under P2P, for each end-to-end process you have to design your business capability, and your one end-to-end process, your business capability will be considered as a one single fact sheet. Okay. In a same way, now the same one to end-to-end process, if you consider one end-to-end process, it that process would be supported by some application. Either you would be using a Salesforce or the S4 HANA to support that process, assuming that. Now you would be having a two application fact sheet design in your LeanIX, and that you want to define under your application fact sheet. Okay. Now suppose if you have designed one application fact sheet to support your P2P business, and once you open, like definitely you will have an option of create your fact sheet, and once you have your fact sheet open, you will have all these parameter to be updated over here. On a high level, if you see like the description and the life cycle, phase in, active, phase out, end of the life, all this information, your relationship. Yeah, this is good one where this is the application. One successor is got AC management cloud, one initiative, one business capability, one organization, one data object. Okay, so AC management, one it got one business capability which supports recruiting. If I click on the organization, it supports a USA unit. If I click on data object, it supports a employee. On an interface side, AC management to HR admin, it got 4 IT component to support this this application has a relationship for IT component, all these like whatever the given over here, so in a same way, you would be sort of creating all this info, all this fact sheet first, your business capability or the application information or all the other fact sheet that you see on your inventory over here, your platform initiative, capability, context, organization, application interface. So you would be creating entire end-to-end information on your Linux. You would be like as designing a relationship among them, and that's how it's gonna tell your management that if you have a process, if you have to go through the process first. Now suppose there is a management who works on a P2P and he wants to know the entire thing about the P2P, not only about the process, how much they're investing on application, how the entire process is happening, so along with the scenario you would be knowing the end-to-end process, but how the process got supported by other platforms like the application or the interface or the IT providers, other categories of fact sheet that we see over here. So they would be able to visualize everything on a Linux, and it would be there on a, because Linux is definitely it's a cloud platform. So it becomes very easy for higher management to have access to all the information. Definitely, like they would be having a access control based on the roles and responsibility. But the main idea of having a Linux now is to have all this collaborative information in one place. It's kind of a repository, and definitely upon this information, upon this fact sheet, once you have all the information captured under your, for example, the application fact sheet and all the supporting fact sheet belongs wherever this application is being used to support all the other business area. I'm just, maybe I'm not using the right word, the business area, but all the fact sheet that you see, all other respective areas are there which supports to your objective for your organization. So once you
And
have all this info, sorry,
where is there you're tracking the actuals? Like even if I had to put it manually, where do I track it in this fact sheet?
you see all these are the like input information. So you have to start
Okay.
updating all this information.
Mm, got it. Now, this demo system, Sanjay, is this
Yeah,
something that even we can get? It's available for everyone?
yeah, it's available for everyone.
Okay, so when you would train us, so can we expect to have these systems available for us as well, right? And this test
Yes,
systems are available for what duration? 30 days?
for this one they have given a like it's not like on a like a trial version. They have given a straight away credential because you cannot customize all this information. However, you can play with the dashboard only, but you would see how all the information been updated for each fact sheet.
Okay, and can I create my own fact sheet? Is there an option to create one new?
In this, what SAP is providing for the training program, no, we don't have that option right now.
Can't add.
Yeah.
Sanjay, I have a thing like so. There is a P2P process change, like almost 100 to 150 process chains will be there. For example, like based on the business. Okay, 100 to 150 process chains. I need to copy the process chains to here in the manual process.
If you got handed sub processes under P2P, so
Yeah,
you're asking that do we need to create, define everything under Linux? That's the question.
exactly. Yeah, I want required.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, that's a challenge. That's what like
Why would you do
the
it here,
challenge.
Sanjay? If you have
Sorry.
Signavio, you can do it. Why would you do it here? If you have Signavio, you will define your processes there. You will only map L1 to L3 here, right? All my L4s will be in Signavio anyways.
That depends what level of information you want to define or to maintain on a Linux. If you got a level 1 to define on Linux and you don't want to do it level 3 or level 4, that's totally fine. That for that you have a Signavio. How about
Hmm.
if someone wants to know after a level 2 what all things we got under in our organization for level 3 and level 4, and in other way, how many levels do we have? How would someone know how many levels of uh, end-to-end process, if someone wants to check, how would you know that what are the levels that we got into each line of business? Because that's not
But
mandatory that you would be having a, sorry.
yeah, but I understand, but somebody who has LeanIX, right, would also have a BPM tool like either Celonis or Signavio. I'm just giving a scenario.
Mhm.
So if I
Yeah.
have my value in there, then I don't need to define my L4s here, right? See, why will I define something here until unless there is an application change in those L4 processes? So that would have, I will anyways identify in L3 itself. I'm just
No,
asking,
you,
I'm trying to understand.
no, that's fine. Like, I got your question, but don't think Signavio as a, only a repository. Having a Signavio is purely for your process mining and data mining. You know,
Hmm.
definitely you will be creating your repository over here. From Signavio, you would be having a good information like what all business. If I have to, if I click on my business capability over here,
Hmm.
it says 50 business capability. How would you know that how much, like what all business capability or the what are the business that you are running in your organization? Those information Signavio is gonna definitely gonna help you. But to have your entire enterprise architecture, not only the, that's what, like you are not preparing only for from the IT perspective or the infrastructure perspective. You know, Linux is something where we are merging our business capability along with our enterprise landscape, the portfolio that we have in our organization. So the end to end, like you will drill down till the last level where you would see last level of the process. If are we using any sort of application, not only the application, if you're using any automation tool, that becomes your application. You know, even though it's an automation tool that you have used to support your business capability, which is a level 4 capability, but you have to capture somewhere saying that our level 4 has been supported by this particular platform or the application which we where they have put a lot of cost to get the platform to maintain those automation. Now they want to know if you have invested a lot of money on that platform, how exactly we are earning from there, the ROI, I would say. And at least just for the information, what at level 4, what are the things that we are using from the application side. So you would be having from the top to bottom level of information over here. I'm just giving you the example. So level 1, level 2, you won't be seeing if you're using any third party application, if you're using any automation tool, for example. So you won't be seeing that information on a level 1 or a level 2. Definitely you would be seeing at level 4. And as I was mentioning, it's not mandatory that even in an organization you have a multiple line of business. Every line of business would be having a level 3 or the level 4. Is purely depend what is the level of information they are maintaining, what are the level of end-to-end process that they have. So it's not a consistent thing that you would be seeing level 1 and level 2 and level 3 only. It could be level 4, it could be level 5 as well. It's all depend what sort of business we are running and what are the end-to-end process or the sub process that we have. And definitely like how those are integrated with the application, and if it has a multiple application supporting that business, how those applications are communicating with themselves. That becomes our interface. How the uh, data data object flows among between those application. So you would be seeing all this information over here.
Okay.
And if someone asks me, is it because it sounds very easy that you have to just capture all this information, you got the inventory directly over here, you know that you have to maintain all this inventory, and in a real time you will have an option of creating a fact sheet. And by having this information, like each fact sheet, what all the input field that we have, we just have to fill that one, and the report diagram simple and straightforward. To be very honest, uh, in my current organization, now if I go and ask someone, even a IT owner, asking for all this information to fill my fact sheet, for them it takes like Even for a small thing, for a small end-to-end process, for them it's taking more than a couple of months, and that's a reality. And this is where the SAP is helping us by providing this LeanIX over here, where once we have everything designed on a LeanIX, in a future you won't be maintaining any second version of information for your entire portfolio. And rest is just a report or a diagram that as per your requirement, whatever information that you want to display for your organization, the application matrix, landscape information, roadmap. These are the reports that you can show to them. And you got a diagram option over here. You can even design your own diagram over here. This is one of the data flow diagram that SAP has provided. Okay, so again, AC management, ESB. I don't know what is this. Then HR admin, under that they got a employee and employee time. These are the interface, I believe. All these are the interface, and they are supporting payroll Europe, payroll Germany, payroll raw, time track. All this becomes their even if I call them as a application, all these application are, this is how HR admin is interacting with communicating with the payroll Europe.
Because I want to understand if there is something available.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something available? That
Is
you
this
are
something available?
Yeah, to integrate LeanIX and Signavio.
Right now with me as a real-time case, you're saying?
Yeah.
No, that's
Or
where
have you,
right.
or is there any documentation around that SAP has provided or something like that?
On an integration side, you're asking?
Yeah. Integration between Signavio and LeanIX. Is there any integration between these two applications?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have not done an integration between a Signavio or LeanIX. However, I'm working on both the platform. Now, LeanIX come on a second part. Like if you ask me the current organization where I started with the Signavio first, they started with the Signavio first. Even they were not having a LeanIX. Recently, they from last few months, they started they got a LeanIX and they want to have LeanIX built as well. When I started with the LeanIX, the first thing is when I saw the entire fact sheet, I should be knowing that what are the business capability we got in my organization. Then I was going through the Signavio. So the integration, the automatic integration that you're seeing, that part I have not matured enough where I'll go and do the integration, to be very honest, because right now I am setting up my both LeanIX and the Signavio. Even for me, the Signavio is a fresh thing. Like in this organization, is a fresh thing to implement everything what they have got.
No,
So
for
I
your
am putting.
question, sorry to the
Mhm.
question. For your
Sorry,
question,
no problem.
integrate with the Signavio to LeanIX. So
Mhm.
Signavio is a different from this LeanIX because Signavio is purely work with the mining concept. I mean, whatever the data objects will be there, so that will be work for. How about this integration will be happening with the LeanIX? So LeanIX is the entire portfolio of the SAP, right? Uh,
Yeah.
but how it should be integrated? That's my question. Now,
Yeah, that's again.
if we want to go for integrate, so why it would be integrated with the LeanIX? There is no question of that. I think so.
See, why it should be
Why?
integrated? I have the answer, but I want to know how can it be integrated?
Okay. Just can you explain that? If you have any things like Signavio.
Signavio is not just your mining tool. Okay. Signavio also comes with your value chain development. So your mining happens. So in certain cases, right, in greenfield projects, you will not have anything to mine for. Only in an existing landscape, right, you will be able to mine and do a comparison. So mining might create a L4 process or an L5 process for you. What integrates with LeanIX, something like LeanIX, right? An architectural tool is what I would take my L1 to L3 from Signavio to LeanIX. And this is where I will manage it. I will want to know what is my consumption in terms of subscription. I would want to know what is my usability so that I can look at my investments. As Sanjay said, right? What is my rate ROI? return on investment. These are the things that I would look out of LeanIX. That information I should get from Signavio, plus the next information I will get from Signavio is based on my process mining. So when you mine your processes, right, it will tell you how many processes have been run for that particular process or a particular L4. You've seen, right, if you have mined anything, right, you will be able to see how many process runs have happened for the entire year. You will be able to get that information in a single sheet. That is what I would need in LeanIX to make decisions on my investments.
Got
Basically,
it.
you will be doing sizing here. The main
Mhm.
part is here, right? In your fact sheet, what he is showing, right, is how will I do my sizing? As an architect, I need to know that how will I get my sizing done properly or not. So no, there is no perfect way of sizing. There will be always, right, and a room for change every time. So based on my information in real time, I will be able to do my sizing every year and my subscription levels for the next year.
Exactly. So he gave you the answer like why we have Linux and Signavio. But from my end, like if you ask me how the integration happened, I'm still not aware of that one. So as I mentioned, like I'm still deploying Linux and a Signavio,
Good.
and I'm
We can
trying to create a sync
collaboratively
between a
learn.
yeah yeah. That's what
Yeah.
like I'm right now. My challenge is to create a sync between Linux, Signavio, and a Cloud ALM. To be very honest, right now
Mm,
for any testing that Cloud ALM does, they always look for my Signavio work. If my Signavio work is not ready, for them it becomes escalation, and
So
even eventually for me also. Like unfortunately for
have you
me also.
have you integrated Signavio and Cloud ALM, Sanjay?
Yes, they have given this integration available in a Signavio. So what
Mm,
happens once I do my process mining from, as you mentioned, the value chain from level 1 to level 4, and level
mm,
4 is something, it could be level 3 or level 4 or level 5, whatever the level they have, the last level, the bottom level. So once I
mm,
design my last level of flow diagram or do a process mining, then I sync
mm,
with my sync with the Cloud ALM team, and then Cloud ALM team, they will start utilizing those information, the solution information. Right now they are
mm.
doing a testing, writing a test script upon all my solutions, Signavio
Okay.
solutions. Yeah.
Okay. So your
Even
change in
my
so when you design your processes, right? So when you are
Mhm.
basically designing and publishing your L4s, is it creating a change request in ALM?
change request, no, that's a different thing. So what happens once you create your first draft, and the moment you sync with the Cloud ALM, you are sharing your first final approved version with the Cloud ALM. And
Okay.
post that, anything that you make a change to your flow diagram, definitely you would be having a different phases of approval for that change.
Mm,
But
mm.
whenever you do those change, you have to republish again to sync with your Cloud ALM.
Okay, but what action it is giving in Cloud ALM? That's a question.
What action in the sense?
So see, you published it in Signavio. Once you publish the change, now
Hmm.
that change, right? If it is going and replicating in Cloud ALM or
Hmm.
Calm, it should create an action in Calm, right? So basically, Calm is where the IT team or your development team sits. So that is it creating a change request to them? Is it triggering an notification saying there is a change? You need to make those changes in the systems, the respective systems.
Yeah, if you have tagged them, if you're like enabled your notification, we have a option of enabling the notification. Uh,
Mm,
it has a different like entire structured process where we have to collaborate with we got a collaboration hub over there, and that's where the entire team collaborate, where you invite all the team members, even from the Cloud ALM team members, you tag them, and then moment you have everything defined, even the change happens, you have to resync with the Cloud ALM. And then eventually, if on a first version, if the 10 flow was there, the 10 activities if you have defined, and in the second version, if you have made a change to you have if you have added two additional activities, so for Cloud ALM team, they would be seeing those two additional activity as well.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Even for them, it is a bit of activity where they cannot directly start using it. Once they have a new version in their workspace, even for them, they need to do a publish. They have to go to the draft version. Then they will check what changes has happened, and then if changes is right, if they want to incorporate to their production life cycle, then they will publish it again in the cloud LM. So they got a different activity to utilize any new version from Signavio side.
Okay.
So it's
Sanjay,
a kind of a, yeah, sorry.
sorry to interject. Please continue. Once you finish, I'll ask my question.
No, I was just telling you, it's a collaborative work. Like if you right now, I'm not like singly handling all these things. It's all collaborative work where you have to like work with all the respective function of the business team along with the development team who uses calm.
Okay. So, Sanjay, my question is, if a customer they're having some legacy EA tool, and now
Mhm.
they want to migrate on LeanIX. So, are there any standard sort of a data migration scripts available for LeanIX to just get the repository from legacy EA tool and then start uploading that automatically?
No idea. Like so far, I have not seen anything automatically getting update on the Linux.
So everything you're saying that maybe let's say customer having biz design or any other EA tool, they're having maybe 300, 400, whatever their application portfolio. So everything needs to be created manually.
Right now, this is what I'm doing. But if there is
So,
a
customization will be
if
happening with the BTP ABAP side, BTP code.
And this is a cloud application. So
Yeah, BTP cloud also. I mean, ABAP cloud over the BTP, so you can develop there for the customization, and then you can integrate with the Linux. No issues.
so you're saying there are some BDC sort of LSNW sort of scripts possible to
Scripts.
build.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
For the customization, you need to write the program over the customization side. So scripts need to be built over there, and you need to integrate with the Linux for the
But,
BTP to this Linux side.
but what will it help, Dilip?
What will help means like if you have any it's sort of any data need to be integrated or any customization need to be integrated over there, and so lines of things will be there. We can't update for the manually side. Almost 140 150 lines should be you need to write over the manual if we want to go for in the Linux. So if you want to customize those things into the as a programming level, so that you can integrate over there from the BTP to or this Linux.
Okay.
And this is a cloud
what's the
tool. So
service name? Sorry.
sorry, go ahead, Sanjay.
No, I was asking what is the service name under that BTP?
Question to Dilip, right?
Yeah.
I did forget that one of my paper was developed recently,
Oh, okay.
so I
Okay.
forgot. I'm not
No,
aware that the service name
no.
actually.
Okay.
I'll let you know if, for the future.
Yeah. Sanjay, I have follow-on question on this cloud tool now. So there is nothing to implement, right? It is more to start with the discovery and adoption. So what are the typical phases now for from Linux adoption perspective for any customer doing this from start from scratch?
Okay. So I tell you what happening right now with me, and it's not only with me. So what happens every week, we would be having a one call with the Linux team, with the SAP Linux team, and I could see 7 customers over there, including my organization. I'm like representing my organization, so I could see 7 customers over there, and they all have a one single challenge: how to start with Linux. So what fact sheet we see over here, they have given a good tool that it's quite easy to access, quite easy to understand all the terminology and the reporting and diagram. But how to initiate the work? If you start building your application fact sheet for one particular application, first of all, you need to know all about that particular one single application and why you have that application in your organization. What are the business capability or what uh, for what support you have got that application in your organization. So you need to start figuring out who are the person or the owners who would be knowing all these answers, and that's take a lot of time, to figure it out who will have all these answers. If you got a enterprise architecture already in your organization, either enterprise architecture will be maintaining all this information somewhere in their own repository, or if not, then it's quite difficult to get all the respective fields that you see on a fact sheet, to have all those information onboarded on a Linux. So you need to start, catching those people. So that's a main challenge that right now I'm facing, and even for the other customer that those comes on a call, even they're facing the same issue, like how to maintain all this, how to get all this information. And before that, what is the initiative? If you go and ask the top management, like what's the objective they got, what is the strategy they got, what is the initiative they got, so they should be clear with the initiative, they should be clear with the objective, why they want to have a Linux as well. So from top to bottom, you need to know everyone who would be knowing all this information to fill your fact sheet. So it's a like time consuming activity. Uh, for me to just to know entire end-to-end processes that we are maintaining in our organization, it took around 3 months, because they were not having any repository, and it's a greenfield project, and they had a different challenges definitely. So for me, just to have a business capability defined and the application capability defined, it took more than 3 months, to be very honest,
So you
because
are
I need
having
to have those
services.
info.
Okay, so you're
Sorry.
taking services directly from SAP LeanIX, from SAP itself. Your service partner here for Linux implementation is SAP.
Yes, they will just guide you. Like once you have a licensed version, they have a 3 step to perform just to onboard you. And upon that, if you have any challenge, then they will just give you a guidance like how to approach for those
There
things.
are templates would be there around 100 to 120 templates would be there in the Linux. So you can use the
Yes,
template and you can configure that. So
right.
I think it's a predefined templates were there. So this is industry oriented templates, which is already the industry was going in solutions was there, which is already predefined things, which I observed like around 120 templates was there as of now, as per industry solutions.
Yeah. So what SAP is doing, they are collecting a benchmark across the like whoever uses the SAP, and upon that they are building a template, and they call it as an accelerator. So you got an accelerator where you can use a predefined template, and if you want to make any customization to it, you can, like as per your requirement, you can do a customization to it. But that will give you a quick reference, what all things that you need to have for your particular fact sheet. And recently in SAP Sapphire, I got to know that they got a WalkMe. I'm not sure like how what WalkMe is and how it's gonna help Linux or Signavio over here. So I just need to understand that as well. But I am being very transparent with you over here that I am still maturing myself on a Linux. I am still like deploying whatever is required, to have on a Linux along with the Signavio. I'm not working on a Cloud ALM. That's a different team. But I am supporting Cloud ALM when it comes to, a project lifecycle or the testing part. I'm just pushing my Signavio work to Cloud ALM.
Okay, thanks, Sanjay.
No problem. And if you think like I'm a TOGAF certified, no, I'm not TOGAF certified. I'm not even a LeanIX certified. It's just that I was on a Signavio side and they were not getting anyone to work on a LeanIX. So they asked me to start working on a LeanIX. So from last 1 year, I'm trying to understand this platform. I'm trying to implement this platform. It has definitely given me a lot of exposure, so how the entire organization works. It's not only the one process that we see or the module that we see. There's a lot of uh, things that we need to consider. So yeah, so this is what I have. There's one more thing. Sorry, I forgot to mention that one. When I do a process mining, I also look for a Archimede diagram. Even I have started using Archimede diagram 3.0. Now they got a 3.2, and that's at a process level, L4 level. If I have to consider L4, the bottom one, and if I do my process mining at L4 level, we also got a Archimede diagram to be built in a Signavio. So I am taking a reference of Archimate just to understand what all things that we got. Definitely not the 100% information, but I would be having a few information at a process level, and that gives me some information from the Signavio side. It's not on the business capability, even from the application capability as well, or the data flow, data objects, or the interface information. So I'm trying to utilize Archimate diagram in my Signavio. That's recently I started implementing it to support my LeanIX work. So it's a small step from like L4 is a very like bottom level information, but definitely I'm expecting that's gonna help me to have a bigger picture. Because getting a information all together, and if you think like you will schedule a call and you will know like whom to interact. If you get all this information from one person, then definitely it would be easy for you to deploy everything. You just need to understand what are the fields that you need to fill out in your fact sheet and the report and the diagram, or else it's quite challenging, to schedule a call with them, get all the information, and not sure whether they will have everything in one go. So it takes time. Anything?
So,
Any other question for me?
so what will be the scope of this Linux
We would
training
be
course?
understanding how this entire tool works. So as I mentioned, what all fact sheet we got, how the report works, how the diagram works. You can have this dashboard. So that's a scope. How this platform works.
Okay, and how many hours you think we'll need for this?
It would hardly take, I would say, 20 hours max to max. If we try to drill down further, and if I try to get something from my side as well, I would not be able to share my screen, but a real time case, then yeah, 20 hours max. But I can definitely tell that you all are aware of a lot of things. Even you have not, I'm not sure whether you have already started with Linux or not. If you have already started with the Linux, but you got an understanding of the entire thing. So I don't think it would be tough for you to, to grab everything quickly. So I would be just helping you what I have learned on a Linux, how this entire platform works.
Okay, so yeah, that's all from me, Sanjay. Thank you.
Okay.